As a good design practice, we need to go ahead and add this new E-clip to our design library for our dragster parts. So I'll come over here and select on this, and then I'll come up here to design library, click on that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and see where to this one folder it says new dragster parts. So I'm going to double click on it and open up that folder. Here you can see the CO2 cartridge, you can see the axles, you can see a few other things. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select up here at the top of the feature manager and right click, and I'm going to say add to library. And then from there, as you can tell, I've already got the new dragster part selected, so I'm going to go ahead and check that off. And then over here you can see how the E-clip has been added to the library, and that's good. Okay, let's do a Control B, which is rebuild, and save our file, Control S, and then we'll go to the next file, which is the assembly drawing here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go ahead and delete all these old axle clips that we can't seem to find a source of here locally. So I'll come over here and find the axle retaining clips. I'll highlight in blue as you see there, and I'll select all 4 of those. I'll right mouse click, actually let me get one more here. I'll right mouse click, make sure I grab these correctly, right mouse click and hit delete. And I'll say yes to all, and it removes all of those. Now I'll go to my design library here and I'll drag out the new E-clip. I'll put one there. Already had placed one in there, so I just need 2 more. Okay, so there they are. So now what I'm going to do is hit escape out of that command, and I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to select mate here, and I'm going to be looking for that mated surface that I can find, which I think was this surface right here. And as you can tell, it went ahead and moved up there onto the cart. Now I can't see it real well, but a way in which I can see that would be to zoom out and see if I can see it inside the assembly by going to wireframe. And sure enough, I do. So I see it right here. I'll just click on the wireframe version of it and slide it out here to the side and go back to shaded with edges. So now there's my E-clip. Probably what I want to do is kind of rotate that around. I'll select this face of the washer, rotate this around, and I'll grab the back of that E-clip and snap to it there, and it should have mated it to the axle and the bushing successfully. So what I want to do is zoom out here, and it looks pretty good. I'm going to check that off, and yep, it did mate just great, so that's awesome. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select that face of the E-clip here. I'll come over here to make sure I know where I'm at it. Okay, I'll come over here to this one, and I'll select that one, and it brings it up there concentric based on that face. I'll check that off. I'll grab that surface there, rotate around if I can see it. There it is. Come up here and click on that face, and it should go up and mate onto the side of the car. Do Control 7. And first of all, just go ahead and check that off here. Do a Control 7. After I do my F key, let's get out of this. Not bad. F. Okay. And let's zoom out here and see what we got. Sure enough, there it is. There's the axle E-clip right there. It's clicked onto the axle. Now let's rotate over here. And what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to just grab that surface on that one. I'll say mate. Since I know I'm going to go to the back of the car on this face here, on that washer, I'll go ahead and select that. And I'm going to zoom out just to make sure it got where it needed to be. Yep, it did. I'm going to zoom up, see it's out here in front. I'll check off on that. Then what I'll do is I'll come back up to this part here. I'll find that mateable surface that we created. Then I'll roll out to this particular shape here, and I'll clip it onto that part of the dragster. Okay, so both of those are in now, and what I'm going to do now is again do a mate where I make sure I line up the faces that I want to mate, and as you can tell it pushed that out there. I'll accept it, and then I want to take that edge there and I want to mate it concentric with this particular face here. And as you can tell, it jumped up and snapped on there just like I wanted. And that's pretty much what we'll wind up doing is we'll use the E-clips because they're actually a little easier to deal with. It's less weight and it's actually more aerodynamic.